Your 20s is not a warm-up decade. This is where the window is wide open to commit as much time, energy, and learning to developing the right skills that you can use and leverage for the rest of your life. I'm 35 right now, and when I was 22 years old, I had a choice to make when it came to starting my career. I could choose the hard path, or I could choose the easy path. The hard path in the financial advising career is working for a large firm as an employee, so you get a salary, stability, benefits right off the bat at 22. And then you're working for an older advisor and they're teaching you the ropes. The harder path is working for a smaller firm with no salary, no income stability, no benefits. You're literally working for yourself. However, every client that you make from day one is your own. I decided at 22 to take the harder path, and a friend of mine took the easier path. And 10 years later, the difference in our careers tells you everything that you need to know about how important your 20s are and what they're actually for. So I'm gonna show you the choice that set both of our paths, why skills compound exactly like money, and the one skill that survives what AI is about to do to all of this. This video is about one of the most important financial decisions that you will ever make in your life. And it's not about a stock or some sort of investment. It's about what you spend your time on in your 20s. So when I was 22, I was this close to working at Merrill Lynch, but there was something in my gut that told me, I don't know, I don't want to start my entire career building somebody else's book of business, an older advisor. I don't want to feel like I'm somebody's employee. And more importantly, I don't want to waste my 20s servicing clients that aren't even mine. So even though that income stability and the benefits were very attractive to me at 22, I knew at a young age that building somebody else's book of business just was not the right move for me. I needed to take the harder path so I could develop skills early on, how to problem solve on my own, how to develop better communication skills and education styles for my clients. And that path was much harder. I was living on a credit card for several years to start my career. I was literally making what was the equivalent of maybe $8 an hour. And then it took me a good 2 years to start to make commissions in the business. But at the end of the day, I knew every client that I was making was my own. And I have clients to this day. I've been in the business almost 14 years that I have been working with for 14 years. And my friend who's been in the business for just as long, he started out at a large wirehouse firm. He had the income stability, he had the benefits, but he spent all of his 20s working on somebody else's book of business, an older advisor. And just a few years ago, that older advisor switched firms and did not want this younger advisor, my friend, to come with him. So he literally had to start from scratch at 32, building a book of business from zero, because he took that easy path. He didn't really understand the importance of what we need to do in our 20s, which is spend very real time developing skills that are going to compound, that you're gonna be able to build upon. And in a career path, you know that no matter what you do, you're gonna be able to continue to grow in some way. And he learned that lesson the hard way, but I paid the price in the beginning, and sometimes that's what it takes. Now listen, I also want you to know, I lived my life in my 20s. I was still going to Las Vegas with my friends with money that I did not have. I was spending on my credit card. I was taking vacation. I was making dumb financial decisions, even as a financial advisor. But it's because at the core, I knew in the back of my mind, I was working aggressively at building a business and a life that quite literally was compounding on itself year after year. And I had so much faith in myself that I knew that I could still live my life in my 20s and have fun and be dumb, because this is the best decade of your life, quite literally. And I encourage you to enjoy it, but make sure that you are intentionally taking a deep dive in learning and understanding how to develop very real skills that you can use in your real life for the rest of your life. Because trust me, the people who only prioritize fun in their 20s wake up in their early 30s, which is where life really starts to get real, realizing that they have nothing to build upon, nothing stuck from their 20s, because they were just prioritizing fun. And as much as I can understand that, just know that that could be the worst mistake that you make your entire life and set your financial path off by decades. I watched a YouTube video on Robert Greene and his book called Mastery, and it's all about the fact that your 20s are for apprenticeship, for learning and developing 2 or 3 very real, deep-rooted skills, and not underestimating the importance of actually learning. What's hard is with AI, everybody just wants to go to ChatGPT to just get answers quick. And so it's becoming harder and harder than ever for people to stay motivated to actually sit still and learn and develop these skills. But I want you to know that this is the decade of opportunity. This is the decade to instill in your brain, in your body, the way you move, the way you look at the world. This is the decade to do this, and it will pay off for the rest of your life. I have a client who's also a good friend of mine. She worked at a tech company for many years, and it was one of those stories where she was so good at her job. She was developing people, developing skills, communication styles, problem solving. And for many years, she was getting paid more and more and more. And finally, the company went through a restructuring and realized that they could pay somebody else half of what they were paying her, and they let her go. Now, at the same time, she's accumulated about $3 million in that company's stock when she was let go. And another thing that I want to mention is outside of her career, she was developing very real skills in real estate. She invested in her first Airbnb property. She used her skills at the tech company and building teams and applied that to customer service in real estate and Airbnb and short-term rentals. And the problem-solving skills that she's been building for all of her 20s is now paying off, because while she got let off, she now is able to use that $3 million portfolio, and we've turned that into a real estate portfolio with income producing assets. And all of the skills that she's leveraged and learned in her 20s are now the exact reason why when she was let off in her early 30s, she didn't actually have to go back to the corporate world, because she was able to lean on all of the skills that she has spent the last decade developing. And now she has a really successful real estate portfolio and will never have to go back to corporate America ever again. Had she spent her 20s just prioritizing fun and just doing what she needed to get the job done at her company, none of this would be the case right now. None of it. Now listen, if I'm in my early 20s, I would be worried right now. Because AI is changing the game in every single way, and there is no changing it. So if I were in my early 20s, I would understand this, I would not try to fight it, and I would be spending a lot of my time investing how to understand and use AI in my life. Not replace it for your learning, but to enhance your learning capability. Because the people who actually spend the time investing in that skill set are the ones that are going to really be set apart. Especially in your late 20s or early 30s, you're gonna be making a lot of money, and unfortunately, a lot of people are not gonna be on the same side of that curve. Your 20s are literally the last time in your entire life that you can afford to spend a lot of time to really deep dive into learning and developing skill sets before real world and real life kicks in. You know, in your early 30s, you do realize this is when life gets real, and you wanna be prepared for that, and especially in this world of AI. So if you are in your 20s right now, just know that you are living in the most important financial decade of your entire life. Most people are quite literally wasting it, coming up with shortcuts, doing just what they need to get by. Don't make that mistake. Don't do that to yourself. People are wasting their time looking for shortcuts that AI are gonna replace one day anyway. The people who will be irreplaceable a decade from now are the ones that are building deep, human, relationship-based skills. It's not an option, it is the math. It's the formula to success moving forward. Take this from Steve Jobs. We all learned that Steve Jobs got fired from Apple, a company that he built, and then he started Next. Next also failed. It looked like his career was over, but not for Steve Jobs. He understood the importance of learning from your mistakes, of compounding skill sets and building upon every single thing that you do in your life. Failure, success, it's all important. It's all necessary for long-term success. And so in his late 30s, he came back to Apple armed with the best experience possible. And now, the rest is history. His comeback was not despite his failures, it was literally because of them. Nobody's career is a straight line up. If it is, that's actually a big risk, because that means you might be at risk of a single point failure of your career ending and everything changing. For my own path, because I took the harder path in my 20s and developed those skills and was very intentional with understanding how to make complicated financial topics easy to understand and how to teach those. That's why you see me right now here on YouTube on this page in general. I just started this a few months ago, but I'm here for the long haul because I'm so passionate in helping you understand how to build wealth and make financial decisions better and more efficiently, more confidently in your life. There's no way I would be sitting here right now in this video had I spent my 20s just prioritizing fun or just working for somebody else as an employee, just taking the easy way out. There's no way. And I spent the last 13 years developing these skill sets that now found me in a place where I'm so passionate to be able to share this expertise with as many people as possible and with you sitting there right now today. So just know that your 20s is the most important decade where you will invest the most time and energy in building skill sets, understanding how to live your life, how to build a career, how to communicate properly, how to build relationships. And trust me, time flies. And if you waste this time, you will pay for it for the rest of your life. If you're at a point already though, watching this video where you feel like you have a good established set of wealth and you're on a right path, but you don't know the next step to take, please see the description for a link to apply for a consultation. I designed my wealth execution program where I literally spend 6 months teaching you how to manage your money and how to build wealth, skills that you will learn and take for the rest of your life. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And also, don't waste your 20s.